The path to $100 XRP. This is not what you guys think. In this video, we're going to break down one of the, I believe, secret things behind the scenes in which could help XRP come up significantly that not a lot of people are talking about. And listen, I don't think this is going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a snap of a finger and XRP is going to be $100. We'll take a look at where the market cap of XRP would have to be if it gets to $100 as well, to give you guys the real math behind it. But the crypto world is largely fixated on endless, lawsuits, price charts, and latest meme coin crazes. They're missing the actual big storylines. We've got so many things unfolding right now. BNB is sending right now. CZ is back in the centerfold. I'm following that narrative, but you guys know XRP is a big part of my puzzle, and a lot of things connected to XRP as well, like Ondo Finance, HBAR, XLM. I like all the ancillary plays. You need to be prepared right now for this market. You need to be in the right altcoins. It's not going to be like 2021 where you can throw darts and hit bullseye left and right, left and right, left and right. You've got to be situated in the right things. Ripple isn't just some other play. And I want to talk about right now the big potential that XRP and Ripple have and how we could potentially one day get to crazy price targets like that $100 level. Now, I'm not here to tell you it's going to get to $1,000 by the end of the month. And I think that's just unrealistic. But I want to give you guys a tangible path for XRP to actually get to the $100 mark. And to me, it's not a question of if anymore, but when the rest of the world wakes up to what's brewing with the new revolutionary financial system that's happening, there's going to be a lot of big winners here, okay? But you've got to be situated in the right place. So drop your X's in the chat. Let me know you guys are here. Let me know you guys are all part of the XRP community. I want to hear from you guys. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, definitely do so as well. And let's get into the nitty gritty here. And let me share my screen with you guys. First and foremost, I do want to tell you straight up, you got to get into my newsletter. If you're not yet in here, you're missing out. Tons of alpha. We're releasing one tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow morning, one is going out, and there's a ton of great insights right now happening with the markets that can help you make more money in crypto. So sign up for the free newsletter, link down below. That is first and foremost. XRP right now sitting at 302. And, a lot of people wondering, when are we going to break out? When is the real big surge going to happen? We're getting a lot of speculation right now, but I want to talk about the staggering number of people across the continent of Africa. And you're probably wondering, wait a minute, what does this have to do with XRP? It has a lot to do with XRP. There's 1.4 billion people in Africa, and they're losing up to 20% of their hard-earned dollar right now. It's a gut punch. And this is where Ripple could come in. We're talking about $48 billion being evaporated right now, money that could be building homes, funding education, all due to inflation, right? And because traditional banks with their slow, cumbersome systems, they ignore the region completely. But I think it's one of the emerging markets where Ripple could do some massive, massive work. So if we look at this holistically, it has a lot to do with the RWA market. Companies like Arcax are actively onboarding mind-boggling $50 trillion worth of RWAs onto the XRPL. Imagine fractionalized real estate in Africa, commodities, intellectual property, even carbon credits, all being settled on the XRP ledger. And people are wondering, like, oh, is Ripple going to be the big player here? They're going to be one of the big players. They don't need to be the only big player. They're going to be one of the big players. And that is all they need. And I think they're going to be going into these emerging markets. Because what we're seeing with Swift right now, supposedly they're working with Ethereum. They're going to create the system for the United States. That's fine. But what about the emerging markets? What about countries in the Middle East, countries in Africa, countries in Asia? Ripple XRP has the opportunity here to get a lot of this pie, right? They don't need to get all of it, but they can get a lot of it. And, the thing of it is, people aren't seeing the big picture, okay? This is a global problem, inflation, global. It's a global issue. It's not just an issue in the United States. In fact, it's a much bigger issue in developing countries. And we're already seeing that Ripple's technology is being utilized in other parts of the world. What happened during the lawsuit, when XRP was in the lawsuit with the United States for 4+ years, it forced Ripple to go do business outside the United States. That's why they've got a working relationship with tokenizing property in Dubai already. It's why they have partnerships in Africa already with some of the big banks, and Japan with some of the big banks there, SBI Holdings. So XRP, I think, is a big piece of the puzzle. Don't let the noise that it's not going to be the United States solution fool you. Even if it isn't, there's a whole great world out there. And I'm not going to say that it won't be a piece of the pie, because they're working with Ondo Finance. People think it's only about remittances or it's only about cross-border payments. What about tokenizing U.S. equities? Ripple and Ondo are doing that together right now, in lockstep with BlackRock, in lockstep with JP Morgan. That means Ripple, whether they want you to know or not, they're one step removed from the biggest powerhouses in the world, talking about BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase. They're just trying to figure out all of these different tools and how they're going to work together to make this great merge of the old archaic banking and financial system into this new one. Stablecoins is going to be a big part of it. What does Ripple have? An emerging stablecoin. This is going to be huge. We've talked about this in many videos before as well. But let me get into the price action, because a lot of people are like, $100 XRP. Are you crazy? Like, how is this going to happen? And I agree, it's not going to happen overnight. But if XRP were to get to $100, that's a 32x from here. A 32x. XRP would have to have a market cap of $6 trillion. Now, to put that in perspective, Bitcoin is at 2.5 trillion right now. So XRP would be much bigger than Bitcoin. But what if I told you that Bitcoin could be at 20 trillion by the time XRP is at 6? That's how I think this is going to play out. Like, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to be a dominant store of value. And over time, as this entire shift happens from TradFi to DeFi and this old financial system into the new one, we're going to see Bitcoin move up significantly. And I think it's going to take the top cryptos with it. And again, what separates XRP from a lot of these other assets up here is they have the ability to get into not only cross-border payments and remittances, but also tokenization. And I think this is really what separates XRP. A lot of other people are kind of niched down into one particular thing. Ripple can be nimble here. They've got network effects. They've got the ledger in which they can deploy in a multitude of ways. And so I'm super excited about where this whole thing's going. And there are very few assets that are very long-term holds for me right now. To me, the three at the top, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, are like the only three that I would even consider holding for the next decade and beyond. Outside of that, it's very speculative. Even these are speculative when you narrow it down, but I believe these three are core, and they're going to continue to grow because they've got all of the big money and the backing, and they've got the tech, and they got the network effects, right? And they're all different, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, right? Ethereum smart contracts, Bitcoin store of value, XRP is the bridge. And so I think they can all work in concert with one another. And XRP probably has the most upside of all three right now, given that basically prices are running on speculation. We don't have anything really set in stone yet, but we know what's coming when it comes to the great reset, the shift in how money moves. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. How are you guys looking at the cryptocurrency market right now? Would love to hear from you guys. Sign up for the free newsletter if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys in the next video.